doesn't mean that you talk down. That doesn't mean that you call people names. That's not what leaders do. That's what you do when you're undisciplined and you react versus responding. And so, by the way, I've done it. Raise your hand if you've done it. How many of you have reacted versus responding? Reacting is you had this trigger that happened and you said or did something and you're like, oh, shoot. That one was probably wrong. Because if you're a leader, you probably also know when you're doing that too. You know when you're doing that. You know where you're like, and then you go back. You ever get in an argument with this side note? You ever get in an argument with your sweetheart? And your point of the argument, you were right, but the way you reacted was wrong? Isn't that a killer? Isn't that a killer? You're so upset. Like, I know for the fellas, I can speak for the fellas, because you were like, dude, I had a good point. I was winning. I was right. I am right. But I reacted poorly. And because of my reaction, the entire argument is about the way I reacted. How do we get back to what I was mad at? You can't, because you screwed yourself over, okay? And that's why I want to encourage everybody. That when because I'm going to bring up issues, I'm going to say, like, what do you think about this? And you're going to go like, and the room is going to go, I don't know. And then you're going to look around and you're going to see what other people think about it. Or if you've already processed this out, you'll look forward and say, I know exactly what I think about that. Because you're not going to bring up anything that's going to be any foreign to anything that I'm not already seeing in society. I've already thought about this. What I'm trying to encourage you to do is take time to think about what you believe in. What is worth dying for? What are your core convictions? What matters in life? Now, not everything does. You may say, I don't care about sports. Fine. Some people are a little bit crazier about sports. There are some items that you're going to say, I don't really care about how much money I make as long as I pay my bills. That's okay. Some people are going to be a little bit more passionate in certain subjects. There are some religious subjects or political subjects. I understand why people don't want to talk about religion. I understand. But we're not all going to heaven. So when you go to a funeral and everybody says, well, thank God, that there's a better place. They're in a better place now. They say that at every funeral, but most of the time they're lying because they're not going to heaven. All right? They're not. Do you even know the formula for that? Have you studied that? What do you believe about that? That's your belief system. I'm not judging your belief system. Please don't take the wrong way. I have energy, but I don't have judgment. Okay? Like I have energy, but I don't have judgment. You're going to have to decide those things. I went to a big one. What do you decide about marriage? Does it make sense to have kids? Do you think it's a good idea to have kids? Should we be like Japan and just have a bunch of empty homes because everybody's old and nobody has kids? You think that that's a good idea? Should we just get our kids from other countries or should we have kids here? What do you think about that? What do you think about Supreme Court's going to decide birthright citizenship in the next 90 days? Is it okay to come here, have a kid of their citizenship? I don't know. You decide. What do you think about that? I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you there are subjects that if you want to lead people, your people have the opportunity and the right to walk up to you, their leader, okay? A leader in their life. The leader is Jesus. A leader can be us. Does that make sense? Yeah. So don't get it twisted. The teacher is Jesus. A teacher is us, okay? We are a teacher. We're not the teacher or the leader, and that's specific in Matthew, okay? But your team has the right, just like you have the right to come up to me in the hallway and say, Coach, what do you think about this? I will tell you. There's not many subjects you're going to bring up that I haven't thought about, okay? In fact, if there's any out there, I'd love to have a couple more so that I could go think about it tonight, all right? You know why? Because leaders owe it to their constituents, their followers, the people that are trusting them to have the leader spend more time, and you should stay up later than your team. You should read more than your team. You should go to seminars. You should watch videos. You should challenge your thinking. You should go to lunch with people that think differently than you. Have them try to sell you on something and articulate a way where you go, I don't agree with that, and here's why. Show respect to the other person, but showing respect does not mean saying, well, okay, then if that's what you want to do. No. No, because there is right and there is wrong. And our society is very confused about that stuff right now. Very confused about that stuff right now. And by the way, they're the people that are teaching kids. They're the people that are in public service. They're the people that are in leadership positions all over the place. And that's why I believe in free and fair elections. That's why I believe in voting. That's why I believe that people should get involved in the political process and form opinions, because your vote matters, especially if you're in the room saying it doesn't even matter anyways. No, you really matter. Okay, you really matter. Everybody does. I believe that all lives matter. I believe your opinion matters. I believe your vote matters. And I just wanted to challenge you guys to start taking some issues. So if you're okay with this, well, I'm going to do it anyways, but I'm just being nice. Okay. I'm just being nice. I'm going to do it anyways. And if you're like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, I don't do this. If you don't feel comfortable taking issues and processing them out in your mind and seeing how you believe in them and then deciding that for yourself, you have a much more difficult, the next few years of your life are going to be a lot harder than they were going to be here anyways. And I'm okay if you want to leave for that type of stuff. We're totally fine with it. But we are going to have a level of respect for one another. We're going to speak to each other with respect. We're going to treat each and every person as they are. Okay. Every one of us is special. Okay. Every one of us is special. I do believe that from my core. Even if you disagree with me, I might roll my eyes. I might think, oh my gosh. Okay. But I love you. I just want you guys to know something. I still love you. I still love you. But if you want to have people follow you, you're going to have to start picking what are your core convictions. And here's the scary part, articulating them, living it out, not just in your words, okay, in your actions, the way that you live your life, the way that you walk, the way that you talk. And the more that you do that, the more we're hypocrites if we don't live it, okay, which is even more pressure. One of the reasons I believe that people don't have their core convictions and articulate them publicly, because it'll require them to change their behaviors in public. It'll require them to change their language, the music they watch, they listen to, the movies they watch, the things that they do. And people kind of like their vices and they kind of like their little things. And so they don't really want to voice it out, because then they're going to have to live it out. And so what I would challenge you to do, if there's anything I want to recruit you to doing, it's to start living out being a leader. Okay, that doesn't always mean following my positions. You might agree with me on some positions and you may disagree, but we could still sit at the table together and break bread, and we could still agree to disagree on certain issues. But if you don't formulate your thoughts, you're going to follow any type of charlatan and some ugly voice that's out there. And I don't want that to happen to each and every one of you guys. So this quarter, we're going to work on your identity a lot. We're going to work on your leadership game, and we're going to work on you, not just posting on social media, not just prospecting out in public, but forming belief system and forming your opinions and turning those opinions to your facts and those facts to convictions. And that's what I want to help you guys do. And I hope that you guys take me seriously on that side, because I'm committed to you in that way. I really am. Before you get to your meeting, after the meetings, we're going to start our Plano player meeting, and we're going to do that at a 35. So I'll do 2 more minutes. But I just wanted to tell the leadership team of the office that I love the vibration of the office right now. I think our marketing directors are doing a great job. I think our marketing directors are doing a really good job. All the roles, everybody, every one of you guys, whether you're standing at the door like Devontae, you know what I mean, or whether you're helping our guests come here like Jen or Temina or Ivan. I heard Ivan killed it today on your crusade story. We heard good things, man. That's freaking awesome. I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. But running a business is not easy to do. And your time, you're investing your time, you're investing your talent, you're investing your treasure. I know what it's like to be I know what it's like to sit in your chair and go, dude, I don't even know what I think about that. What is he? And then I'm like this, and I'm like, but what about, And then I'm torn, and it was ripping me apart a little bit. And then there's some stuff where I'm like, dude, how could you not think this way? Like, who votes for that? You know what I mean? Like, what the heck's going on? But remember, our job is not to judge. I always want to say, because if I bring up strong subjects, I want to make sure that we flip it back and say that, our job is to serve people and treat them right. And if you handle people with love, and you handle people with dignity, and you give people dignity, even if they're ridiculous, okay? If you give them dignity, I'm telling you, that's the best thing that you could do to help people come around and start thinking better and start walking better and doing better things, because ultimately we want people to self-regulate. We don't want the government to have to regulate everything. We want to self-regulate. We want communities to run communities, not federal or state. We want communities to take care of communities, but we could only do that if the men step up and lead. We could only do that if the men step up and lead. If the men are lost and they're over there and they're living off of women and stuff like that, it ain't gonna ever happen. It ain't gonna ever happen. Okay, everybody's gonna be bitter, everybody's gonna be resentful, and I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, that's something that I believe is for both sides. I believe that's for both sides, and we're gonna help you do it. So